Hey guys, it's iCuber here, back for the first time in a while. And today I will be showing you how to solve a Rubik's Cube. I am going to show you your first step to solving a Rubik's Cube. And my method to solving a Rubik's Cube is CFOP. And that stands for cross, first two layers, orient last layer, and then permeate last layer. And I'll be showing you the first step right now. So the first step is to get a white cross on the bottom of the cube. And as you can see, we already got one white piece right here. So we gotta match that up with the correct color right here. So we have white and blue because this is the white and blue edge. So we put it between the white and blue centers. And then we have this orange and white piece right here. So we can easily pair this orange piece with the orange center and then bring it down with the white center. And then this red and white one is going to be a little bit harder because we can't just bring it down and move it over. Well, instead what we have to do is we take it out like that. So if you have it in this slot right here, you do R, U, R prime. So you keep that in the same place. And then you can just move it to the red center and bring it down to the white center. Then the last piece, green and white right here, and you just do the same thing. Bring it out with R, U, R prime. Move it over to the green center and move it down. Just like that, you finish your first step to solving a Rubik's Cube with the white cross. Then the second step is what's called F2L, which stands for first two layers. But right now we'll just be working on finishing these corner pieces. So, find a corner piece. We'll start with this one. This one has white, orange, and blue. Then we look around for the white, orange, and blue, and it's right here. So white, orange, and blue. So what you do is you move it over to the spot where it is supposed to go. And then here's your first algorithm. It looks like this: R, U, R prime, U. And you see that got it in the right spot, but it's in the wrong orientation, so we gotta do it again. R, U, R prime, U. And now it's above, but we gotta get it down there again, so we do it one more time. R, U, R prime, U. And just like that, we have that corner in the right spot. So then we find another one, and we'll do this one, which is white, red, and green, which we see is right over here. So what we do is we bring it over, and then we do those moves again. R, U, R prime, U prime. 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 Just like that, we have this one solved as well. And it's going to be different for each piece, but just when it's over the slot, just keep doing those moves until it's oriented correctly. And so like this one, we could do the same thing. R, U, R prime, U prime. 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 And just like that, we got this one in the right spot. Then we do that same thing with the last corner. So we got white, blue, red, white, blue, red. We do that same thing till it's in the right spot. And just like that, you finished your first layer of a Rubik's Cube. And the next step is to be getting these edge pieces in the right spot. So, now you're gonna have to learn your second algorithm, which is pretty similar to the first one. So instead of doing it with your right hand, you have to do it with your left hand, like this. L, U prime, L prime, U. So it looks like that. Okay, so what we do is we find, so say we want to do this red and green piece, and we know that because it's between the red and green center. We find it on the top right here. So what we do is we line it up with the correct color. So like this would be wrong because it's green on the bottom here, not red. So we line it up with the correct color like this. And then facing the green side where you have that edge piece paired up, you move it away from where you want to put it. So since you want to put it right here, you move it the opposite direction. And then what you do is you do the L, U prime, L prime, U. And then you rotate it and you do it with your left hand. R, U, R prime, U prime. Just like that, you have that edge piece in the right spot. So now let's find another. Let's say we'll do this one, which is red and blue. So what we do is we find it, and it's right here. So remember, we have to pair it up with the correct color. So not like this, even though we have red up here, we have blue down here. So we have to pair it up with the correct center. And then what we do is we move it away from the slot we're trying to put it in. So we're trying to put it right here. So we have to move it away, not like this. If it's right here, don't move it like this. You have to move it away from the slot you're trying to put it in. And then do it with your right hand and then your left hand. And I'll explain why you did it differently that time. And so again, we've got green and orange, pair it up with the correct center and move it away. And see right here, I'm going to be doing it with my left hand and then my right hand. And that's because I moved it to the right side. Since I moved it to the right side, I start with my left hand instead, because then that gives an opportunity for me to pair those two up in the back and insert them like that. Then, the last edge piece, you have to pair up with the correct color, move away, and since I moved it to the right, I do it with my left hand first, so L prime, U prime, L, U. Then I rotate it, and I do it with my right hand, R, U, R prime. And now we're on to the last layer. Now we've finished the first two layers. Now we are on to the last layer. So the first step you want to do is get a yellow cross on top. And the way you do that is, depending on what shape you have on top, there's multiple things you could do. For this one, you have this L shape. So right now we're just going to ignore all the corners and we're just looking at these pieces. And right here we have this small L shape. So what we do is we put that in the top left corner. So right where it is actually. And then we turn the F, the front face, and we do those four moves, sorry. So R, U, R prime, U prime. Then we undo that front move, and now we've got a line. So again, we're just ignoring the corners, and now we've got a line straight down the middle. So now what we do is you can have it like this or like this, but you turn the front face again, and you do R, U, R prime, U prime, and undo the front move, and just like that, you've got a white cross. Okay, and now the next step we're going to do is get these edges into the right spot. So right now we have this green piece, this green and yellow piece in the right spot, and this blue and yellow piece in the right spot. But these two need to be switched. The red with the orange, they need to be switched. So what we do is from either the blue side or the yellow side, we do this new algorithm, which looks like this. R, U, R prime, U, R, U, 2, R prime. Just like that, we've got these two in the correct spot now. So now what we do is we do that same algorithm again, but with the correct two. So these two are in the right spot. So we have to have one of them on our right side and the other in the back. And then we do R, U, R prime, U, R prime, or R, sorry, U2, R prime. And just like that, we've got all of these edge pieces in the right spot. And then almost the final step. Sorry. So what we do is we search for a corner that's in the right spot. And you might think it's this one, but it's not. Just because it has yellow on top, that doesn't mean it's in the right spot. You can see you have blue and green and red and orange. That piece actually goes right here, so it's not in the right spot. And this piece goes right here because green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red. So that piece isn't in the right spot either. Neither is this one, because this one belongs right here. But if we look, we can see that this one's in the right spot. Even though it's not oriented correctly, it is in the right spot because yellow, blue, orange, yellow, blue, orange. So what we do is we hold that on the right front space, so right where it is. And then we do this new algorithm, which is U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. Just like that, we can see that all the corners are in the right spot. Now these two aren't oriented correctly, but we're going to do that in the next step. And the final step. So what we do is we hold that in the bottom right corner. So we flip the cube over and make sure one is right here. And what we do next is we do R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime, U until it's solved. And now you may see that all this is messed up, but that's only temporary. And what we do next is bring this corner over to fix it. Make sure you do not turn the cube. You are just turning the bottom layer on this step. So only turn the bottom layer, then do those three moves. R, U, R prime, U, R, U, R prime, U. And if you see, just like that, it solves that piece. And then what you gotta do is line up the edges, and just like that, you've got a solved Rubik's Cube.